I'm Ted D. Hass, owner of Windy Hill Farm. We're going to do a video today on a little Haflinger mare named Ruby. This is Brittany, our young horsewoman here at Windy Hill Farm that is here as an apprentice, as an intern. And Ruby has been one of her projects this winter, and we have her prepared now to sell. And what we've done with Ruby is we've prepared her with the anticipation of her being used for therapeutic riding. She'd be a great family horse, perfect for a timid rider. A lot of ladies want to use the Haflingers for trail riding and things. And I'll just have to tell you, I don't remember when I've had one so sweet. She's just as sweet as she can be, and she's been a pleasure to work with. She rides and drives. So with that, I'll keep talking, and Brittany, you can go ahead and get started bridling her. The bridling process here, I want you to watch carefully, is kind of a ritual for us. All of our horses, we want to bridle very softly and just put their head down. You should be able to bridle your horse off your knees. That horse should put his head right where it's supposed to be. And notice how Brittany's organizing her mane and her forelock. We ride all our horses in a little string holder like this because what we want to do, we don't want to lead our horse with the reins, and we never want to tie with the reins. And when you're using a horse out in the trails and so on, and you have to stop and tie, it just makes it so much nicer. Now see, when she rides, she'll take her rope off and she'll stow it beside her saddle on her back ring there. We were going to drive Ruby today for the video, but I don't think we're going to. It's pouring down rain outside, and we'll have to do another video another day, maybe, of her driving. But she drives great. She's traffic safe. She's been to town a lot of times, and she's one I think you could drive right down Main Street, stop at every stoplight. Okay, so we're going to let Brittany just go ahead and mount and show us some things that she's worked with Ruby. We school all our horses to mount and dismount from both sides. And we really just feel it's an inappropriate practice for that horse to not stand while we mount and dismount. Brittany was going to try the Roy Rogers trick, but she said yesterday it didn't work out too good. No, we won't have to try it. The horse stood for her, but she just didn't quite have the horsepower to do it. Go ahead and pick her feet up while we're standing here, Brittany. That's good. We want our horses just to hand us their feet. I think that's an important thing. She stands good for the farrier. She's good in the pasture. She's good with the other horses. I think she's one that you could raise a couple crops of kids with. She's around 10 years old. She's not registered. The folks that I got her from used her to work a big truck patch and garden with, so she can plow and she can cultivate, pull the wagon, back the wagon. She's just as fearless and good on the trails and sure-footed. She's very traffic safe. Ruby's going to be a horse that will walk and trot very freely and very nicely. If you want to canter her, you're going to have to provide impulsion and keep your leg on her. She's not one that's ever going to run off. She's not going to squirt out from under anybody, but she is one you're going to have to push forward. And that's pretty customary for a halflinger. You know, we've had some halflingers that canter very fluently, but that's certainly not their strong suit. She canters along very nicely, but I think that she'd be one that you could confidently put a timid rider or a child on and not worry about her taking off with them. We've sold a lot of these halflingers over the last several years for therapeutic riding, and the folks have just done very well with them. And you know, they're sturdy enough for an adult to ride, and they're also kind enough to take care of special needs folks and children and so on. We're going to go through our obstacle course now, and one thing that we're particular about here at Windy Hill Farms, we want all our horses to back off the trailer. We want them to be very comfortable on that trailer, and sometimes we'll walk them off, but most generally we like to just back them off nice and softly like that. We work all our horses, we work the gaits off their back. We don't ever try to get off a horse to work the gait. We can help it. But this is, you know, leg yielding. Watch how she uses her legs. She's not pounding on that horse. She's just softly moving her around. That's how you're supposed to do it. Now watch, she'll move that hip over. A lot of time went into that. That doesn't happen by accident right there. You know, something I want to point out that what we're doing here, this isn't so much about obstacles. It's about just teaching that horse to manage its fear and teaching that horse that, you know, something happens it doesn't like, not to run from its troubles. So important, because I promise you, where she ends up, she'll see something she's never seen before, and we want her to be able to handle that. It might not be a yellow slicker, it might be a red slicker, it might not be walking over a mattress, but it might be putting her feet in deep mud, or you know, doing something that is not routine. So we don't get out here and rehearse these obstacles. We get out here and we really just work on conditioning this horse to think about what they're doing and think about taking care of the rider, being safe, being practical about what we're doing here. We like doing the tractor tire because that simulates a hole, or you'd be surprised, most of the horses really don't like that. That's a difficult thing to overcome. What I found, one of the biggest things a horse will shy from on a trail is a stone. So that's why we put the stones here. I don't know what they think when they're out in the woods and see a stone like that, like it's a bear or something laying there. I don't know. Now I want you to watch when she crosses these logs how Ruby is thinking about where she's putting her feet down. She's organizing her steps. It's an important thing. I don't want her daydreaming and goofing off and tripping and going over there like a drunk. I want her putting her feet down, sure-footed, taking care of a rider. It's muddy today and slippery, but she's organizing her steps perfectly, very nicely. Now we run our horses barefoot primarily. We toughen their feet up. We trim them every 5th week. She's had her teeth fixed. She's up to date on all her shots, vaccinations. Some good, sound, healthy condition. See, I like for her to think about where she's putting her feet down. I just think that's so important. Come over here, Brittany, and do this tire. Now this tire here has got water in it, and it's the toughest one of all. But what that does is helps the horses prepare themselves to cross water and put their feet in water and feet down in a creek or something. Very good. Very good. All right. If you can do that, you're an operator. Very good. It's real important for our riders to be able to control those feet from sitting up top. Their legs, their body posture. Be able to move that horse. Now see how they can move her hip over. Very good. Well, folks, that's the difference between a high class and a low class horse. You know, horses that can do that, I've had a lot of time spent with them. It has a lot to do with the value of a horse, just the amount of time somebody spent with it. And you can tell she's never had a whooping. She's never had a bad home. She's had a good home every day of her life. And it shows. You can't beat goodness into them. You got to draw it out of them. See how she weaves those poles and guides softly. Okay, Brittany, now walk up here. There's one thing I want to show you. Just bring her right up here toward the camera. Very good. If you look right here, Ruby's got some scar tissue right here on this eye. Get right up here, Ryan, and we'll look at it. Can you see it? Right here. That when she was young, she'd bumped her eye, and she's got just a little white spot there of scar tissue. I had the vet out, and he looked at it and checked it. We've checked her eye thoroughly. It doesn't affect her vision at all, but you need to know it's there. And it has no effect to her soundness, and we would certainly stand behind it and assure you that she can see good out of that eye. But she's got it, and she's always going to have it. That sometimes a horse, you know, will get a bruise in their eye or get some scar tissue, and that's the only thing I can tell you about the little horse that is less than perfect. Other than that, I will tell you this: we're proud of her, and we're happy to see her earn a good home somewhere. And I'm sure she'll serve your needs very nicely.